Some defendants find it extremely difficult to maintain appropriate conduct in a courtroom, often leading them to engage in extravagant behavior. Today, we present to you some of the most surprising attitudes exhibited by defendants throughout history. Daniel Nicholson, a memorable character who appeared in the judge's courtroom with the belief that he could successfully escape the justice system. He was initially arrested and released on bail, facing charges of weapons possession, arson of a car, and the theft of a motorcycle. Despite his image as a family man and father of 4 children, Daniel turned out to be an extremely explosive person. While awaiting trial, a series of events triggered an incident worthy of an action movie. Daniel tried to escape from the courtroom and, in that attempt, ended up injuring a court official, which led the judge to revoke his bail. She probably thought that this measure would keep the defendant calm, but she was very wrong. Instead of calming down, Daniel continued to express his disagreement and constantly impede the process. He even went to the point of getting up from his chair to make his complaints and insults heard. As if he thought he was a specialist in action scenes, Daniel tried to jump to escape his position in the room, but ended up completely immobilized by the security agents. Fortunately, thanks to their intervention, the incident did not escalate to more serious levels. However, one of the agents was punched by the accused, while another was involved in a hand-to-hand confrontation with the accused. On 2 consecutive occasions, Daniel experienced moments of intense tension. However, his fate was especially adverse, since after being subdued in front of his partner and his son, he found himself facing additional charges for his reckless action. This episode resembles a scene from an action movie, and to justify it, Daniel argued that his methamphetamine use had pushed him to the limit. On that day, everyone present witnessed the desperation to which this father reached. However, the result of his actions only meant that he was beaten, shamed, and sentenced to 21 months in prison, in addition to a fine that exceeded $300,000, all for possession of firearms. Brooks, who spread terror among Wisconsinites during a Christmas parade in November 2021, staged a truly terrifying scene. This incident remains etched in the memories of the local residents. This individual drove his Ford Escape vehicle recklessly during the parade, resulting in the tragic loss of 6 people's lives and leaving another 62 injured. The entire city was shocked by this attack, leading the authorities to act quickly and lead to his arrest that same night. However, from that moment on, things were not easy. Brooks turned his court hearings into nightmares, not only for himself, but also for the judges, prosecutors, and everyone in the room. He experienced more than one outburst in the middle of the room, without the need for specific reasons, arising in response to any smallest detail. Additionally, he requested to represent himself in the process, leading many to believe that his intention was to refute the judge's every word. Furthermore, he raised his voice in court and refused to follow the rules. This led to his expulsion from the room due to his provocative comments. The legal process continued without his presence. Finally, at the end of his solitary trial, he received a sentence that forces him to answer for every life he took on November 9th. Specifically, he was sentenced to 6 life sentences and faced 61 counts of reckless endangerment. Brooks must spend the rest of his life behind bars. Even if he could survive to be 800 years old, even then he would still be serving his sentence in prison. A man who did not go unnoticed in his court appearance, being motivated by the desire to take multiple lives in Tampa, Florida. The most frightening thing about this case is that among the people who lost their lives at the hands of this individual were his girlfriend, Kenyatta Barron, and his 9-year-old daughter named Ronnie Bella. To increase the seriousness of his actions, he also made an attempt on the life of his son, an 8-year-old boy. Later, he set fire to the house they were in. This was not an isolated incident, since other violent episodes had previously been recorded, marked by aggressiveness on Ronnie's part. Even his girlfriend had reported his behavior in March 2018, making a call to 900 ONC that was abruptly interrupted, followed by another call from the same location. In this second call, Ronnie claimed to have taken his girlfriend's life because of what he described as white demons who wanted to end her life. It is not clear if this was just aggression or if there was an element of insanity to his behavior. During his courtroom appearance, Ronnie represented himself and on several occasions even yelled at the jury. Despite the judge's warnings about his inappropriate behavior, he managed to exasperate her by declaring that he did not regret his actions. This contrasted with the apology he offered to the victim's family, in addition to his serious criticism of his country's justice system. However, one of the most shocking moments of the trial was when Ronnie questioned his own son on the stand, the same son he nearly took the life of, and who was deeply affected by his actions. Despite everything, the brave boy declared against his own father without hesitation. The judge, at the conclusion of the trial, commented that Ronnie's case was the worst he had seen in his entire career, and, following the jury's recommendation, imposed 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. In addition, he was sentenced to more than 30 years for aggravated child abuse and another 30 years for setting a fire. Calvin Lloyd, an individual who appeared in court due to accusations of burglary and theft in Miami-Dade County, Florida, when he was only 30 years old. At the time of his court appearance, he was already on probation due to his history as a known car thief, facing similar charges in the past. However, this time he decided to raise his criminal level by entering Miami Edison High School in order to steal a Volkswagen Passat car that was parked on campus. Confronting Judge Catering did not intimidate him at all, and he chose to interrupt her repeatedly. The judge had to turn off his microphone to stop him, but that did not stop him from his desire to attract attention. He began acting like an attention-seeking child, yelling things like his mother was present in the room. When he entered the courtroom, supposedly where his mother was, everything turned out to be part of a theater to attract attention and divert it from the process. This was deduced because there was no other logical explanation for his behavior in the midst of his legal problem. To make matters worse, she started twerking in full court. This did not cause amusement, but rather annoyance in the judge. Calvin's mother stepped in to explain some of her son's erratic behavior. According to her, her son suffered from several mental illnesses for which he had been prescribed medication. However, due to various factors, including Calvin's own attitude, he was not following the medication regimen he had been prescribed. The mother brought a bag with several prescription medications that she claimed Calvin must take to maintain his mental health. Despite this, Calvin did not manage to get out of the situation well. He was charged with trespassing into a school safety zone and car theft. The judge did not hesitate to impose a high bail on him and issued him stern warnings to stay away from high school and criminal activities. In conclusion, the unpredictable behavior of some individuals in court can be surprising, and in this case, Calvin Lloyd faced serious legal consequences due to his actions.